Welcome to my channel. When a computer refuses to power on, it can create anxiety and confusion, especially if it contains important files or is needed for work or school. In this video, I will guide you through a comprehensive process that explains why a computer may fail to turn on and how you can troubleshoot the issue step by step. The goal is to help you understand every stage of the diagnosis so that you can confidently identify the problem and determine if it is something you can fix or if professional assistance is necessary. You will learn how to check power sources, internal components, external connections, and the overall hardware health of your computer. Understanding why a computer fails to turn on begins with examining the most basic point of failure, which is the power source, since many computers refuse to start simply because of an issue with electricity supply or faulty cables. After confirming that the external power source is functional, it becomes important to look inside the computer to identify whether internal hardware components like the motherboard, RAM, or power supply unit are responsible for the problem. Each part plays a different role, and understanding how they work together will help you quickly pinpoint what is causing the malfunction. One of the major steps in fixing a computer that fails to turn on involves listening for signs such as beeping sounds, fan movements, or LED lights that can give clues about the computer's internal conditions. These signals act as a built-in diagnostic system that helps you determine whether the computer is getting power, attempting to boot, or encountering a hardware failure. If you understand what each sound or light pattern means, you will be able to take targeted actions to resolve the issue rather than guessing blindly. At this stage, if this video is interesting, take a moment to subscribe to my channel to stay updated. Turn on notifications so that you will not miss my next video. And engage with my video by liking, commenting, and sharing it. Diagnosing power-related issues often begins with checking the wall socket, the power cable, and the power adapter if you are using a laptop. Many computers fail to turn on because the cable has worn out, the adapter is damaged, or the extension box is defective. Replacing or testing these items can immediately solve the problem without requiring any deeper inspection or repair. This is why it is essential to start with simple checks before moving on to more advanced troubleshooting steps. Once you have confirmed that the external power supply is working correctly, the next stage involves examining the power button and the connection that links it to the motherboard. A damaged power button or a loose connector can prevent the computer from receiving the signal needed to start. If you know how to open your computer safely, you can trace the power button cable and check for proper alignment, physical damage, or disconnection. Fixing a button issue is often easier than many people assume. If your computer still fails to respond after confirming that power is flowing and the power button is functional, it is time to evaluate the power supply unit found in desktop computers. The power supply unit converts electricity from the wall into usable power for the motherboard and all internal components, and when it fails, the computer cannot turn on at all. Replacing a power supply unit is normally the solution when there are no signs of life in a desktop computer, even after multiple tests. Laptop users may face a similar issue with the battery, which can degrade over time and prevent the computer from powering on if it is completely dead. Removing the battery, connecting the charger directly, and attempting to power on the laptop can help determine whether the battery is the cause. If the laptop starts without the battery, then the battery needs replacement. Many laptops rely heavily on battery health, even when plugged in, so a faulty battery can cause unexpected startup failures. Another reason a computer may fail to turn on is faulty RAM, which plays an essential role in enabling the system to boot. If the RAM is not properly seated or is damaged, the computer may try to start, but shut down quickly or remain completely unresponsive. Removing the RAM sticks, cleaning the metal contacts, and reinstalling them can restore normal function. If the computer has multiple RAM sticks, testing each one individually can help identify the faulty unit. The motherboard is one of the most critical components that determine whether a computer will turn on, and when it fails, the system cannot respond even if all other parts are working correctly. Motherboard failure can be caused by overheating, electrical surges, dust buildup, or aging hardware. Diagnosing a motherboard issue requires careful observation of indicators such as lights on the board, burning smells, or visible physical damage. In many cases, replacing the motherboard becomes the only solution. Internal overheating can also prevent a computer from turning on because modern systems include safety mechanisms that shut down the machine to protect sensitive components. If dust blocks the airflow or if thermal paste has dried out, the computer may fail to turn on or may shut down immediately after starting. Cleaning the internal fans and heat sinks and reapplying thermal paste can restore the system to normal operation and prevent future overheating incidents. Loose cables inside the computer can interrupt the power flow or prevent components from communicating properly with the motherboard. Checking all internal connections, including cables that link the power supply to the motherboard, and those that connect hard drives and SS disks, is a crucial part of diagnosing why a computer fails to turn on. Reseating all cables can often resolve the issue within minutes. This step is especially important if the computer was recently moved or shaken. External devices such as USB drives, external hard drives, printers, and other accessories can sometimes cause boot failures. Disconnecting all external devices and attempting to turn on the computer again helps determine if one of them is interfering with the startup process. This is a simple but effective step that many people overlook. Once the computer boots successfully, you can reconnect the devices one by one to find the problematic one. When the computer shows signs of life but fails to reach the login screen, the issue may be related to the storage device that contains the operating system. A damaged or disconnected hard drive or SSD can prevent the system from starting properly. You can check if the drive is detected by the computer and ensure the cables are securely connected. If the drive has failed, replacing it may allow the computer to start normally again. If the computer does not turn on and you cannot identify any visible damage, using a diagnostic tool or external tester can help pinpoint the problem. These tools can check the power supply output, test motherboard circuits, or analyze component behavior. While not everyone has access to these devices, they can provide valuable insights that help you avoid unnecessary repairs or replacements. A slow or partial startup can still indicate an underlying issue, even if the computer eventually turns on. You may notice flickering lights, delayed fan movements, or inconsistent power responses. These symptoms often point to early-stage component failure and should not be ignored. Addressing them early can prevent the computer from reaching a point where it refuses to turn on at all. Understanding how to fix a computer that fails to turn on also means recognizing when a problem is beyond your skill level. Some issues require advanced tools, soldering, or detailed expertise. If you have tested power sources, internal components, and external devices and still cannot identify the problem, then seeking professional help becomes the best option. Attempting repairs beyond your understanding can create further damage. Finally, before you leave, do not forget to subscribe to my channel to stay updated. Turn on notifications so that you will not miss my next video. Also, engage with my video by liking, commenting, and sharing it. Visit my channel to watch more helpful videos. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe now before visiting my channel to watch my other helpful videos.